Do you want to have the ultimate control over your life? Welcome to Take Control with Whitney Wells, where we will explore all topics of life that we try and control, what this creates for you, and how to have successful relationships all while empowering yourself. Keep listening and let's have some fun. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of Take Control with Whitney Wells. So how was everyone's weekend? I had a great weekend. My son, my 5-year-old son, he has a best friend, and it was his birthday. And since my son had his birthday during the pandemic, my son's best friend decided that he wanted to share his birthday with my son. So they had a joint birthday party, which was only the two of them and the parents. So myself and my husband and my son's best friend's parents and our friends. We all hung out at my house and played we have a blow up pool. We got specifically for this. So much fun. They had a blast. And it was just so heartwarming that this little 5-year-old kid wanted to share his birthday. You know, most kids want it to be theirs, right? He wanted to share it with his best friend. It was very touching, and we can all learn something from these 5-year-olds. So that was a lot of fun. Today was super busy. But I'm here with you guys, and I'm excited to dive into this topic. So we are going to talk about the 3 steps to have an authentic relationship. We're going to go over these 3 steps. So having an authentic relationship is everything. It is everything, right? Don't we all strive for that real and intimate and authentic relationship? Don't we all want that? So I know I do. And to me, I'm thinking, well, yeah, of course, it's everything. We want that. We're striving for that. But let's really break it down. Why is it really that important? Why do we really want it? Knowing why helps us keep striving for it, right? Helps us reach ultimately where we want to go. So if you aren't being authentic to who you are, your partner is having a relationship with, quote unquote, a version of you, right? So this is one of the reasons why it's so important. So if you're not being true and real to who you are, your partner is having a relationship with a version of you, not the real you. If you want your partner to be different, you are wanting to have a relationship with, quote unquote, a version of him or her, right? If you want them to be and act and say different things, act in different ways, behave in different ways, you are wanting to have a relationship with someone who is not truly them, not the real him or her. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. Think about what comes up when I ask these questions to you. Do you want your partner to be different in some way? Do you find yourself doing things for your partner not because you want to, but because they want you to? Do you find yourself wanting to make your partner happy with actions and behaviors, but you are left feeling maybe uneasy, unsure, or out of alignment with yourself? Do you want your partner to do things to make you happy? So what comes up when I ask these questions to you? Give yourself a second to think about those. And know that you're in the right place. I have the answers for you. I'm going to go over acceptance and love for yourself and your partner. Then we're going to go over people pleasing, what it is and what it creates for you and your partner, what it creates for your relationship. And then we're going to put it all together to have this authentic relationship. And by the end of this, you will have the secrets to living your truest self and enjoying your relationship. Truly enjoying your relationship. So we're going to start with number 1, the first step. The first step is acceptance and love. So start with love and acceptance for you. And to do this, we want to start with the awareness of where you are now. So, who are you? You want awareness of you, right? So who are you? What do you like? And what do you think of yourself? You want that awareness of the thoughts that you have about yourself now. Loving yourself is the foundation to all of your relationships. Once you love yourself, you can then propel that love outwards. You can show up, right, in behaviors and actions from love. Your experience will be better from love. And then you want to have love and acceptance for your partner as well, right? So that's what we're striving for here. So first, have awareness of your current thoughts about him or her. See what you're currently thinking about your partner. I'm going to ask you some questions, and this might give you some thoughts that are coming up, okay? So when you think of your partner, what comes up? What comes to mind? Do you want your partner to be different in some way? Do you like or dislike something about your partner? And what is that? Your thoughts about your partner are the relationship. Your relationship exists in your thoughts. So if you have loving thoughts about your partner, that will generate love for your partner. So you want to uncover where you are now. Remember, awareness is where you can start from. If you want to move somewhere else, if you want to change in some way, you have to start with awareness. So we want to see where you are now. What thoughts do you have about your partner currently? All right, so now we're going to move on to talking about manuals. Now, the reason for talking about manuals is because when we have manuals for other people or ourselves, we aren't loving and accepting them as who they are. All right. So let me back up a second. What is a manual? You might be wondering what that is, right? A manual is when you have expectations of yourself or your partner and you attach your feelings to those expectations. So whether they do something or don't do something or behave in some way or say something or don't say something, you're attaching your feelings to those behaviors. And you either feel bad or good if they behave in the way that you want or don't want. So when we have manuals for other people or ourselves, we aren't showing up with love and acceptance for them and who they are, or for you and who you are. So it's so important to recognize and be aware of manuals that we may have for others. So I'm going to ask you, do you think you, yourself, or your partner, he or she, should be different in some way? Do you think you or your partner should or shouldn't act in some way? If you do, these are manuals. How do you feel when your expectations aren't met? Do you feel bad when they do something that you don't want them to do? Do you feel good when they do something that you do want them to do? These are manuals that you have. So we want to recognize these and just be aware of them. See them for what they are. Because when we have awareness, that's when we can change if we want to. So, as I said, the reason we're talking about manuals is because when we have them, we aren't accepting ourselves, if the manual's for ourselves, or our partner for who we are or they are. So I'm going to tell you about a personal story of mine about a manual that I have for myself. I uncover this manual, and it's about my 5-year-old son. So I have a super cute, awesome, amazing 5-year-old son. He's so much fun. I love spending time with him. But at times, he has his own mind, his own feelings. He does his own thing. And sometimes I yell at him. And I have this thought, I think I shouldn't yell at my son. That's my manual. I shouldn't yell at my son. So I uncover this manual. I'm aware of it now, right? I'm aware of this manual. And when I sign up for this manual, I am not showing up with love and acceptance for myself. When I say sign up, I am attaching my feelings to whether I yell or not, right? How I behave. I'm attaching my feelings to that. I'm saying I should or shouldn't yell, for instance. So I'm not showing up with love and acceptance for myself, for my behavior, for how I acted. And as a result, I am being the exact person I don't want to be. And I'm going to show you how. So why is this? What's going on, right? I had the thought, I shouldn't yell at my son. This is my manual. And when I think I shouldn't yell at my son, I feel guilty. And when I feel guilty, I'm hard on myself. I beat myself up with my thoughts. I'm quiet and pull away from my son and the people around me. And I judge myself. I am not showing up as the mom and person I want to be. So I'm thinking I shouldn't yell at my son, and I'm not showing up as who I want to be. That's what I'm creating for myself. My expectations of myself to be different, to not yell, do not allow for love and acceptance. I cannot be the person I want to be from judgment. I have to love and accept and be open to myself first in order to make that change, to be the person I want to be. So what do you do with manuals? Well, I recommend dropping them completely. Dropping them for yourself, to free yourself, to empower yourself. Drop them. I recommend accepting yourself and your partner for who you and they are. This will empower you. Drop your manuals. Love yourself and your partner exactly how you and they are. Drop your manuals. Have your requests. Yes, of course you can request things of your partner. Of course, right? But when you attach your feelings to those requests, you're at the mercy of whether they do or don't do that thing, whether they behave in that way or this way. So I recommend make your requests, have your expectations, but don't attach your feelings. Pull those back. Know where your feelings come from. Your feelings are yours. You create your feelings with your thoughts. You have that power and that control. So now we're going to move on to number 2. Number 2, the second step in this whole process is We're going to create that love and acceptance intentionally, on purpose. We're going to start with yourself. So ask yourself, what do you love about yourself? What do you appreciate about yourself? Commit to not putting yourself down with mean words or thoughts. You can commit to this. So often we say things to ourselves that are not nice. Maybe they're spoken or in our heads. Commit to not putting yourself down. Show up for yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to do something tomorrow, follow through. Show up for yourself. And let go of the manual you have for yourself. Drop that manual. Love yourself. Accept yourself. So we talked about having awareness of the thoughts that you think about yourself. And notice if you have a manual that is holding you back. And now we just talked about creating that love for yourself. Now we're going to talk about creating the love for your partner. So we talked about having that awareness of the thoughts you have about your partner, your current thoughts, that awareness of that current place you're in. And then also notice if you have a manual for your partner that is holding you back. Now you can create love for your partner if you want to. Ask yourself, what do you love about your partner? What do you appreciate about your partner? What do you admire about your partner? When thinking of your partner, what are you thankful for? So these questions can generate thoughts for you that can generate the feeling of love. And let go of the manual you have for your partner. Drop that manual to free yourself and empower yourself for you. All right, so having an authentic relationship comes from being authentic and true to ourselves, right? So this leads me to the third step in this process, which is people pleasing. Such a fun topic. So what is people pleasing? Do you ever do things for others that you don't actually want to do? Do you find yourself saying yes when you really want to say no? This is people pleasing. People pleasing sounds so nice, right? It sounds so selfless. It sounds so nice. You're doing things for others. You're giving. But what if I told you people pleasing is actually lying and it's selfish? This is the hard truth of people pleasing. I'm going to explain more. Let's look a bit deeper. So when you people please, or the definition of people pleasing, which is doing things for others and not wanting to do them, you aren't being your authentic self. You are being the version of yourself that the other person wants you to be. Right? So if they want you to do something or behave in some way, and you don't actually want to do that, but you do it anyways, you're being that version for them. This isn't who you are or your true self. You are a version of yourself. So you are lying about who you are, what you want, your true self, and instead being who they want you to be. So how is this selfish? You might be asking yourself or asking me. Well, you are hiding yourself and aren't giving your partner the opportunity to know you authentically. You're taking away that chance for them to know you fully, your true and authentic self. But I want you to pause for a second and just take a breath, because I don't want you to beat yourself up for people pleasing. I think we've all done it at some point, and it comes from such a nice and kind place. It comes from what we think is love, right? Where it's coming from that nice, kind place, and nothing is wrong with you for doing it. Why do people please? So when we ask ourselves why, we get to go a little bit deeper, right? So let's find out why. Well, we think our actions can make someone else feel some way. We think if we behave in the way that they want, by our actions, the other person will feel a certain way. So you agree to something against your wants to hopefully have the other person feel good or better. But you can never make someone else feel a feeling. It's impossible. Their feelings can only come from their own thoughts, always. So if you show up and you behave in a certain way that they want, it's not because of how you behaved, it's not because of the actions you took. It's because of their thoughts about your actions that make them feel their feelings. So whether you do the thing they want or don't, it's their thought that creates their feeling. Always. But we get confused, right? We think if we do the thing they want, they'll feel better or good. So what people pleasing creates? Let's look at it at an example. We talked about what people pleasing is, right? What it is. We talked about why we do it, why we people please. And now what people pleasing creates is important to look at, right? We want to see what it actually does for us. And we're going to do that by slowing it down. So let's say, for an example, your partner asks you to clean the house. And your thought is, I don't want to, but I'm going to please him or her. I'm going to do it because they want me to. And you feel resentment. When you feel resentment, you clean the house, but not happily. You are more likely to snap at him or her, and maybe you're quiet. And you create this inauthentic relationship, right? So you're doing something because you don't want to do it. You're showing up as not who you really are, and you're creating this inauthentic relationship. This is what people pleasing creates. Now, it's important, as I've talked about, to always have awareness. Everything starts with awareness. Awareness is where you can change from if you want to. So ask yourself, are you people pleasing? Are you doing things for others, not because you want to, but because they want you to? And know who you are. You want to know who you are, accept who you are, love yourself, and then be honest with yourself and others. And maybe that looks like saying no sometimes. So if you want to stop people pleasing, you want to have that awareness. Are you actually doing it, right? Know who you are, accept who you are, love yourself, and then be honest with yourself and others. Honesty sometimes looks like no. You can still love the person and say no. Be your true self. So now let's put it all together. You want to have acceptance and love for you and your partner with your awareness. right? Your awareness of where you are. And then create those intentional thoughts on purpose. Notice what thoughts serve you, what thoughts don't. Focus on the ones that serve you and let go of the ones that don't. It's amazing that we have, as humans, the ability to focus on the thoughts that we want to create what we want to. It is life-changing and mind-blowing. So, back to putting it all together. Acceptance, love for you and your partner with your awareness and your intentional thoughts. So those are the first two steps. And then adding to that, stop people-pleasing and be your authentic self. The third step. And this all equals an authentic relationship while being your truest self and enjoying the relationship completely. So let's recap. You want to start with love and acceptance of you and your partner. You want to drop those manuals. Let your partner be who he or she is. Let yourself be who you are. Drop those shoulds and those shouldn'ts. Drop those manuals. Empower yourself. Free yourself. Number 2, create love with your thoughts. Focus on those thoughts that serve you. Number 3, stop people-pleasing and be you. Be true to you and honest with yourself and others. Stop lying. And this all equals creating an authentic, real, and intimate relationship. Live your truest self and enjoy your authentic relationship. Enjoy it for what it is, all the imperfections of yourself and your partner. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go have amazing, thriving, healthy, authentic relationships. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye. Do you want to explore these topics further? Are you ready to live the life that you want to live on purpose while controlling what you have control over? I would love to be your life coach. If you are interested, simply head over to whitneywellscoaching.com and book an appointment with me today. I can't wait to work with you.